Okay, hi guys, Lois here, and in this video I'm going to talk about another topic, which is solving system of linear equations using graph. Okay, so let's warm up with an example right here. So how many equations are there? Okay, so in this we got this one is one equation, right? If you remember the definition of equation, it needs to be an equal sign to let two of the sign equal to each other's. So two of this are equation. First one is this, and second is this. So right now we got two equation, right? And can both equation be true at the same time? Can it be? Yeah, and we will figure out in this lesson today. Okay. So the definition today is a system of linear equation is a set of two or more linear equations that are solved at the same time, which is, I can give an example, y equal to 3x, and here y equal to minus 20x. That can be this kind of equation solved at the same time. Or we can use this 2x plus 1, or y equal to minus x plus 4. Something like this is also called a system of linear equations. Okay. And how to solve that? Right? So if we got two equations of the linear on the graph, for example, I give this is the one and this is the second. So how can we know that where is the equation correct, a two equation correct at the same time? In this point, right? Because it's an intersection where two graphs go through. So at this point, I got a caution. The point where two lines intersect, right? And so how can we find this point based on the equation that we know? Okay, let's move on to first example. Okay, let's move on to our first example of this question. So they tell us to using graph to solve two equations, to solve this system. So first of all, like the step one is always graph the equations or graph the linear, right? And we all know how to do that. For the first equation, we already got the y-intercept is 1 and the slope is equal to 2, right? So we will know that. Another point is we need to increase x by 1 and increase y by 2. So another point is 1 and 3. For the same thing with second equation, the y-intercept is equal to 4 and the slope here is minus 1. So another point that go through this one is 1 and 3. Okay, so right now we need to graph two of these line here. The first one will go through this point, which is y-intercept, and the second point is this one, is 1 and 3. So that will be this point just simple like this. Okay, another line, which is the second line is, let's go through the y-intercept, which is 4, 0 and 4, right? And the second point is also this point. So we already know that this point. Okay, step 2. Solution. As we all know, two of the line cross here, so that point will be the solution. Solution here is 1 and 3, right? So we all know how to solve this equation using graph by 2 steps. First of all is graph the linears, and the second is just graph the solution, which is the intersection of 2 lines. Okay, and I got another type of system. If I got 2 lines intersect as 1, how many solutions will I get? It's also cross here, right? So two of this line are just correct at one time. So this one will have one solution only. And how about lines are parallel? As we all know, parallel linears will never have the same point. They will not share a point together. Well, in this one is 0 solution. Right? And how about line are the same? Line are the same, which is like this one. Zero. This line, the first one, the second line is also like similar to this. And how many solution or root that we got? We got infinite solution. So there are 3 relation of two linear in the system. Okay, let's move on to some of the last example is why solve this system using graph. The step 1 is also graph, so I call this 1 and this one is 2. And the first step, I also need to graph 2 lines. For the first one, we already know the y-intercept is -2 and the slope is 3. So we got that the point that this line go through is 1 and 1. And for the second, the y-intercept is 1. And this point, sorry, the slope is also 3. So that will go through the point there, 1 and 4. So right now we need to graph these things. So the first this one will go through 0 and -2 to go through this. So right now we graph these two equations. This is the first. This is the first line. For a second line, I change another colors. That will go through this point and this point. As we know, like in last part, these two equations are linear and they are parallel. So there is no solution. Right? And lastly is this example. Using solving two of this using graph. This will be the exam, and the answer is infinitive solution. And with that, I'm done for today. Thank you for listening. Okay, this is the end of the lesson already. So if you need extra help, you can check in the description and reach out to me through Gmail or Facebook. I'm happy to help. Thank you.